So let us implement the first question using DP. So first of all, we are going to solve the recursion using the DP. And we just need to do one extra thing, that we have to maintain one cache, that is the array. So we are going to start with Fibonacci series. Now, the first thing is, almost the logic will be same. Almost like 80%, 90% logic will be same. But you just need one extra thing. Let's name it as cache memory. Okay. So what was the logic? The base case is if n becomes 0 or n becomes equals to 1. So simply return n in that case. Then we have first number. First will be equals to fib n minus 1. Then we have second. Second is n minus 2. And we need to pass cache as well. Then third thing is the result, and result will be first plus second, and then cache square bracket, not cache square bracket, just leave it right now. We'll talk about the requirement, why we need it. So this was the complete logic earlier to implement the Fibonacci series. All right, so this is how you implement the Fibonacci series. Just use this condition. This was the base case. Then you have first, second variable. This was n minus 1. This is n minus 2. Now the point is, store the result on nth index, whatever the result is. Just simply store the result in your array. And before going into the recursive call, just check if it is already implemented. So if your cache of n is not equals to 0, it means it already stores, it is already called that particular recursive call. So simply return it from here, and that's it. See, this is memoization. This is memoization. Now let me tell you the working of it, how exactly it is working. Just try to understand how much time it is going to reduce. Let's say this time you have called F5. So F5 has called F4. F4 will call F3. F3 will call F2. F2 will call F1. All right. So this is the hierarchy first. Now once F1 is called, it is going to return 1. So it has returned 1. And it is now going to call F0. Now once F0 is called, it is going to return 0. So first is 1, second is 0, result is 1. That is 1 plus 0, 1. All right. So result is 1 plus 0, 1. Now cache n is equals to result. Cache is the array here. So cache is the array of n plus 1 size. Remember, it will be of n plus 1 size. On each of the index, initially we'll be having 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. All right. Now just go to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you need to go to the second index. On cache n, we are going to put the result. So it means in this line, it has become cache at second index. It has stored 1. Now return result to first variable. Return result to first variable. Now it is going to return to F3. Now F3 is return, and it is going to call F1. So it is going to call, then second will execute. It is going to return 1. So 1 is coming up from here. 1 plus 1, it is going to return 2. Now once it returns 2, before returning it to cache n is equals to result. So it means on third index, simply store 2. This is the meaning of putting up the result here. So on cache third index, put the 2 here. Simple enough. Now F4 will call this line, and now it is finally going to call F2. Now wait for it. So n is 4, 4 minus 2 is 2. So F2 is called, but then comes finally my if statement. If cache n is not equals to 0, if cache 2 is not equals to 0, Yes, it's not 0, then return. What it is going to return? 1. It is going to return 1 directly. That's it. 2 plus 1, it becomes 3. So it is not going to call 1 and 0 again. Now F5 will call, and actually it is going to store the result first. On F4 it is going to store the result, and the result it is going to store is 3. And now comes the chance of F5. It is going to call F3, but F3 is already executed. On third index you have 2, so nothing will be expanded. It will directly return 2, and that's it. 3 plus 2 is equals to 5. So this is the tree of this implementation. It is not going to expand these branches. These branches will not be expanded now. So this is the benefit of using DP now. That's why we are going to use the DP. I hope you are able to understand till here that how we have implemented the memoization and how we have implemented the first example of DP. And you can see the benefit of using DP now. Now we are going to talk about the another way to implement Fibonacci series, that will be using the tabulation. But before that, you can even try to execute this code. So you just need to call fib with 5, and you also have to initialize one cache is equals to new int of size n plus 1 actually. So whatever the n is, let's say n is equals to 5, so you have to initialize n plus 1. All right. So it is going to be the cache, it is going to be the n variable, and now in return, you will get the result that you can print. So let's try to execute. All right, so we are getting the 5. Perfect. Now after this, there is another way to solve the same question using tabulation. So let's create fib tab. You're going to pass n all. Now in tabulation, it is just recommended that you don't have to use the recursive call. The same problem can be solved using the for loop only. The only thing you have to do is maintain a cache again. So cache is equals to new int. Actually, you can pass directly cache from here. All right. Now, the idea is basically, we know that in Fibonacci series, two terms, the zeroth and the first term are fixed. I can say in my Fibonacci series, the zero index will be 0 and the first index will be 1. After that, we have to start doing the addition. So like I just have to add the n minus 1, I minus 1 and I minus 2. The loop will be started from 2, will execute till less than equals to n, I plus plus, and then I will simply write cache of I will become equals to cache of I minus 1 plus cache of I minus 2. That's it. And now you can return cache at n index. N is the last index, the nth element that actually is required. All right, so how exactly this is working? You can assume that in your cache variable, we have already stored in our cache variable, we have 0 and 1. Now, the loop is started from 2, so we are going to start from the second index. On second index, I am saying I minus 1, that is 2 minus 1 and 2 minus 2. That is on first index and 0th index, add these two. So 0, 1 is 1. Now go to third index. So add 2, 1 and 1. So it becomes 2. So simply this is how we are going to use this tabulation to implement the same Fibonacci series problem. And now if you want to execute, you can call result is equals to fib tab. So I think I forgot to make it a static. Let's create it as static. And then we have to pass the n and the cache. And then print result variable. So we are getting 5 again. So that is the correct answer. Now you can try to change the value of n to 7. So it will print the 7th term of Fibonacci series, that is 13. So I hope it is all clear till here that how exactly we have implemented our first question using DP. So this was the first question using DP that we have tried to implement of Fibonacci series.